Our opening song is Ma Tovu, and it is on page 630.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Lovely words from this week's Torah portion in our opening song there. It is wonderful to see all of you here this evening, this Shabbat, to bring in Shabbat with us. A couple of announcements before our service begins. If you have a cell phone or any other devices that make noise, this is the best time to make sure that they are switched off. If at any time you need to leave the sanctuary during the service, everything that is said in here can be heard from the Schimberg Grand Foyer where you came in. And during the service, we will occasionally ask the congregation to rise. If you are able, you may physically rise. If it is difficult for you to physically rise, you may rise in your heart while remaining seated in your chair, as the Talmud tells us. It is, excuse me, it is my honor to be joined once again this week by Joy Katz and Guthrie, helping us out with the beautiful music of the service, and Mike Haber is joining us as a representative of the board. Thanks for being here. Our service continues now with the candles and Kiddush beginning on page 121. It is my honor to welcome up Doctors Fred and Lynn Miriam to lead us in those blessings.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagofen.
Amen.
Amen.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavam. ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילה, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, קיום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. ואותם קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתם. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן.
Where has this week vanished? I'm reading on page 125. Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? In this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world on this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Page 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה,
Amen.
בעלמא דברך ירצה וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמד קודשה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו Amen.
Please rise as we turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach 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 Leolam Va'ed Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Va'ed.
Please read with me on page 150. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Page 152 and 3. Please be seated. Page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובפלטתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We read together on this page. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. I'm reading now at the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get to there from here except by joining hands and marching together. Micha Mocha is on page 158.
Micha Mocha Oelim Adonai, Micha Mocha Neda Bakodesh, Nora Tehilot Osepele, Nora Tehilot Osepele, Malachutecha Ra'u Vanecha Bokeh Hayam Lifnei Moshe Miriam Se'eli Anu ve'amru Adonai Yimloch Adonai Yimloch Le'olam
I'm reading now on page 161. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth, prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over your Jerusalem and ours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Hashkivenu is on page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'abidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'abidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת
We continue now with the tefillah, beginning on page 164 and continuing on even-numbered pages. Please rise.
Adonai, sefata tiftach, ufi yagid tilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Lifnei V'neihem, Leman Shmo B'Ahava, Melech Choser U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol ata, Rab lehoshia, morid hatal. Mechalkei chaim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asorim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umitomelach belech memit, umchayeh umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Page 173. Please be seated. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 179. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace. And give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael, v'shalom.
Shalom Ra, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Ra, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Betov be'einecha levorech et Amcha Yisrael, bechol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
We take a moment at this point in our service to say a prayer of healing for all of those who are in need of healing, whether they are in need of healing of body, healing of mind, or healing of spirit. We ask for God to watch over them and guide them in their time of healing. We ask God to be with all those who minister unto those, whether family members in need of healing or friends. We ask God to be with all of those who have been affected in recent days and weeks by acts of violence or natural disasters. And as always, we ask God to watch over members of our armed services, wherever they may serve, and their families who miss them when they are away. The Misha Beirach prayer may be found on page 371, and we'll return to this page in a moment.
May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us sing. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
May God's healing come swiftly and soon to all those who are in need of healing as we say, Amen. We continue now in silent prayer. You may use the words on pages 180 or 181, or the prayer written upon your own heart.
Ratzon imre fi, ratzon imre fi, vegion libi lefanecha, Adonai tzori vegoli. Of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom Ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru
The Cookie Thief, a poem. A woman was waiting at an airport one night with several long hours before her flight. She hunted for a book in the airport shops, bought a bag of cookies, and found a place to drop. She was engrossed in her book, but happened to see the man sitting next to her, bold as can be, grabbed a cookie or two from the bag in between, which she tried to ignore to avoid a scene. So she munched the cookies and watched the clock as the gutsy cookie thief diminished her stock. She was getting more irritated as the minutes ticked by, thinking, if I wasn't so nice, I'd blacken his eye. With each cookie she took, he took one too. When only one was left, she wondered what he would do. With a smile on his face and a nervous laugh, he took the last cookie and broke it in half. He offered her half as he ate the other. She snatched it from him and thought, oh, brother, this guy has some nerve, and also he's rude. Why, he didn't even show any gratitude. She had never known when she had been so galled, and sighed with relief when her flight was called. She gathered her belongings and headed to the gate, refusing to look back at the thieving ingrate. She boarded the plane and sank into her seat, and then sought her book, which was almost complete. As she reached in her baggage, she gasped with surprise. There was her bag of cookies in front of her eyes. If mine are here, she moaned in despair. The others were his, and he tried to share. Too late to apologize, she realized with grief that she was the rude one, the ingrate, the thief. All too often in life, we misjudge the motives of others because we act on faulty assumptions, or we're missing an important detail, or we let our emotions blind us. In this week's Torah portion, we read about the wicked, or perhaps foolish, prophet Bilam, who was hired by the evil, or maybe just fearful, King Balak. Bilam was a non-Jewish prophet who was renowned for the power he supposedly had to issue blessings and curses that would indeed come true. King Balak saw the prophet as a secret weapon against the Jews and sent him to curse our ancestors as we wandered in the wilderness. The intended curses were famously transformed into blessings, most notably, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov. How lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. But that is not the most interesting part of this story. On his way to defy God's instruction and curse the Israelites, Bilam is riding his donkey. Suddenly, the Torah reads, the donkey swerved from the road and went into the fields, and Bilam beat the donkey to turn her back onto the road. But again, as soon as the loyal donkey was pointed back on the road and moving in the right direction, she pressed herself against the wall and squeezed Bilam's foot against the wall, and so he beat her again. At this narrow passageway, there was no room to swerve to the right or left, so the donkey lay down under Bilam, and Bilam was furious and beat the donkey with his stick. By the way, for those of you counting, that is 3 separate times that the faithful donkey stopped and refused to go on, and each time Bilam beat her. At that moment, the Torah continues, Adonai opened the donkey's mouth, and she said to Bilam, what have I done to you that you've beaten me these 3 times? Bilam said to the donkey, you have made a mockery of me. If I had a sword with me, I'd kill you. The donkey said to Bilam, look, I am the donkey that you have been riding all along until this very day. Have I been in the habit of doing this to you? And he answered, no. Then Adonai uncovered Bilam's eyes, and he saw an angel of God standing in the pathway, his sword drawn in his hand, and thereupon Bilam bowed right down to the ground. The angel of God said to him, why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? It is I who came out as an adversary for you, because your task is offensive to me. And when the donkey saw me, she veered away because of me those 3 times. If she had not veered away from me, you are the one I should have killed while sparing her. Bilam said to the angel of God, I erred because I did not know you were standing in my way. Yes, my friends, Balaam assumed the worst about his beloved donkey, while she was only acting in his own interests to protect him from a danger that he was unable to see. Does anyone here have children? I know that your angelic children would never get mad at you for trying to protect them from dangers that they don't see. When I was a child, I certainly never got mad at my mom and pop. Did you? Well, sometimes we are the donkey, and sometimes we are the cookie thief. As much as we assume the best of our own intentions, we sometimes ignore what should be obvious signals that something is not quite right. Too often our gut reaction is to assume, as Balaam did, and as the cookie thief did, that the other person is trying to make a fool of us. It's often the case that we are simply missing out on some important information. It may not be an avenging angel swinging a sword in our path, but our loved ones often try to protect us from unseen harm. The Balaam story gives us a clue about what we should do, though. What does the donkey ask? Have I been in the habit of doing this to you? When someone you know acts in an uncharacteristic way, sometimes your first reaction might be frustration, confusion, or even anger. You might think to yourself, why is so-and-so standing in my path? Why are they taking my cookies? Anger is our emotional signal that something is not right. But it's not a very precise instrument. When you feel angry, your first question to yourself should be, where is this coming from? Who am I angry at, and why? I guess that's 3 questions. Well, you might be inclined to express your discomfort at someone's change in behavior without finding out the underlying reason for the change. If someone reliable suddenly lets you down, in the case of the donkey, literally, your first task should be to find out what it is they are going through. Same thing if someone suddenly snaps at you, or if someone talkative becomes too quiet, or someone cheerful becomes withdrawn. Instead of getting frustrated, get curious and use your natural human empathy. Balaam teaches us that we can often punish others when they let us down, when we would be better served to get the full story. In truth, we sometimes punish ourselves in the same way. You may be a generally reliable person, but you let someone down. You may be a calm person, but you snap out at someone. You may be a generous person, but all of a sudden you refuse to share your cookies. Ask yourself what the donkey asked. Have I been in the habit of doing this? If not, it's likely that there's an underlying reason for your change in behavior. Your first reaction might be to punish yourself for a failure, but instead you should open your eyes and examine your path. Are you hungry? Are you tired? Lonely? Are you in pain? Are you in pain because of something beyond your control? Are you anxious about something coming up? All of those are reasons that we may make uncharacteristic mistakes. Instead of beating yourself up about it like Balaam, show yourself a little love. Take a deep breath, and maybe even give yourself a cookie. Shabbat Shalom.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to welcome all of our members, newcomers, and guests to Congregation Share Zedek. We look forward to visiting with you during the Oneg Shabbat. Representatives from the board and past temple presidents are identifiable by our gold name tags. Congregation Shares Zedek, we pride ourselves on offering a wonderful variety of programs. Upcoming events have been listed on the back of the Shabbat program, although I just looked at the back of the Shabbat program and we have substantially more programming than what's listed, so I refer you to the shofar, which will be much more informative. Thank you, Robert Blackburn, for ushering this evening. Our clergy and staff are eager to greet visitors who are looking to learn more at the congregation. So immediately following services, clergy and staff will move to the Oneg Shabbat and stand by the membership table, and we'd love for any visitors to stop by. We encourage congregants to introduce yourselves to guests you see at the table. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, Mike. We continue now with the Aleinu, beginning on page 586 and continuing on page 591. Please rise.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לבני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. I'm reading now on page 593. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love we are comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. At this time, we remember those in our community who have recently been laid to rest, including Bernie Dwork, Rochelle Winokur, Andy Bruce, and Philip Feldman. We also remember those whose yahrzeits occur at this time, including Robert Anguillo, Samuel G. Arison, Jean Barkin, Minnie Bennett, Charles Bernstein, Francis Blumenthal, Irving Blumenthal, Gerald Brass, Philip B. Bryden, Benjamin Simons, Sandra Dreyer, Julius Dubrow, Pearl Dubrow, Rena Egnatz, Ann Engelman, Robert Fleeter, Julia Middleflum, Louis Gobioff, Rose Gottfried, Lois Greenberg, Diantha Perry-Gross, Robert T. Hayden, David Kleinman, Susan Lanson, Jack Layton, Isidoro Lerman, Arlene Meller Levinson, Abraham Levine, Hyman Lieber, Leon Lutzker, Sylvia Messerman, Ruth Rappaport Morrison, Edna Novick, Seymour Rhodes, Golda Rosen, Lisa R. Rosenberg, Charles Joseph Rosenblatt, Jacob Sapphire, Rose Seinfeld, Howard S. Shapiro, Maria Schenkman, Ezra I. Silver, Sylvia Silver, Henry J. Smith, Lois Spielberg, Eleanor Mark Stein, Samuel Stein, Melvin Stern, Julia Sondheim, Barbara Jo Ward, Sylvia Pianin Weinbrunn, Edith Weisbond, Robert S. Wolf, Edith Yasenow, and Morton Yolofsky. To these names we add those who, though unmentioned, are always in our hearts, and together we rise as we turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisha berichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. We continue now with our closing song, which you may find on page 642, Am Yisrael Chai. At this time, I'd like to welcome up anybody in our congregation this evening who is 18 years of age or younger. I see you out there. If you'd like to bring your mom or dad along with you, that's all right. Come on up to the bima so you can help lead us in the blessing over the challah. Anybody who is 18 years of age or younger, come on up to the front. I see two more out there. One of them's on the way up. Come on, bring him up. I told him you could bring him up. All right.
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
And now, as you gently tear off a piece of challah to share with one another, go ahead, get it. Grab a big piece of And as they share the challah with one another, I share God's blessing with all of you. Adonai oz la'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God bless us with many blessings, with no curses, with a wonderful life, a wonderful community, and on this Shabbat and every Shabbat, and one day for all eternity, bless us with peace. Amen.
Amen.